to the Simplicity Sisters. Today I'm going to be talking about my shoe collection as a minimalist. Now I am really working, I've been very clear on my journey towards minimalism. It has definitely been a struggle and it's a process. And I'm nowhere near where Leah is, I'm nowhere near where a lot of the minimalists on YouTube are. I am slowly trudging uphill getting there, but I'm very pleased with my shoe collection. My shoe collection has been pretty great for probably about 6 years now. What happened was I used to be, before I was a stay-at-home mom, I was a massage therapist, and I was working in this tiny little spa, and it was kind of therapeutic based massages, and I was very serious about good body mechanics, having my body in the right position when I was doing massages. But at the end of the day, if the rooms you're massaging in are too small, there's only so much you can do. So the rooms I had for my clients were just way too small, so I was hyperextending my knees for at least a year. So basically, things just got worse and worse, and all of a sudden I could barely walk. Now, I had been going barefoot my whole life until I started working. And as soon as I started working, my feet started kind of going downhill. So this was a crisis point for me. I could barely walk. I could barely get up and down the stairs. We lived in a second floor apartment, and I wasn't even leaving my apartment for weeks. It was probably a month that I barely went anywhere, and I had to get Alex to help me get up and down the stairs. So I even went to a knee specialist. He was no help at all. It was one of the most frustrating and emotional doctor visits I've ever had. I was just in tears afterwards because he was a knee specialist and he told me that nothing was wrong with me that he could fix with surgery, so he sent me home. So I was in crisis and I knew that I had to do something, and basically God really directed me to just learning about feet and how he designed our feet to work and the way that they are meant to be treated. And I started realizing that the way that our society views our feet is not as strong foundations of our bodies, and we basically practice very low level foot binding. We do not wear shoes that are good for our feet. We do not wear shoes that allow for our feet to be the shape that they're supposed to be to support us. So the more I learned, the more horrified I was at the shoes that I had been wearing for years. I'd been wearing Toms, which definitely held my toes together, and the support was terrible. I actually wore Toms, like a wedding series of Toms to my wedding. That's how much I loved Toms. I loved dancing in them, so I would go on concrete floors and dance hard in Toms shoes. Nothing against Toms. I really liked, and I still like their mission statement and everything. But they are terrible shoes for your feet. And they were part of what was, I was actually massaging in Toms because I had this black pair of Toms. So I was doing all these terrible things for my feet. I was wearing Old Navy flip-flops to the beach because we lived at the beach. And all these things I was doing were just destroying not just my feet, but my entire body, my back, my neck, my knees. Everything was absorbing too much shock. My feet weren't able to move the way that they're supposed to. So I came across a website called Natural Footgear, and I learned about toe splay, and I learned about wide toe box shoes, and I learned about zero drop shoes, and I started just completely digging into this whole thing and how feet are supposed to actually move, and barefoot running, and all the muscles in the feet, which I had already learned about in massage school. I already had this base of knowledge. So it all made sense, and it all made sense that ever since I had stopped going barefoot in the woods and just running around, ever since I had stopped and started working and wearing restrictive footwear with super thick soles and not zero drop soles and everything, that I had started having foot problems and back problems and neck problems and knee problems and all of the problems. Even my hips were having problems. So I just hit a crisis, and the first thing I discovered was limbs. Those were from the Natural Footgear, and I'm going to talk about those. But first of all, I have Birkenstocks. These are the Mayari style. This is the only style that I've ever had. I got my first pair, I think, in 2016, maybe the fall of 2016, and they were so painful to wear for a few hours. But after a few hours, my body got used to them, and they became the only shoe that my feet could even tolerate, or that my body could tolerate, because my lateral arches had collapsed and I had these knee issues. Everything was so bad. And so Birkenstocks are actually very thick soles and very high arch support. I have high arches, but my lateral arches had collapsed, and they are still partially collapsed, and I'm looking to solve that pretty soon in the future. But basically, I was in such crisis that I needed more foot support, and still do in a lot of ways. My muscles in my feet had deteriorated. The other thing was that I had been living in an apartment with Alex since we got married, and it was carpeted, and I grew up with hardwood floors. So the carpet was destroying my feet too, because my feet were weak. The muscles in my feet were getting weaker and weaker, and things were just getting so bad. So the carpet didn't help either. So I got Birkenstocks, and they were just literally the only thing my feet could tolerate being in. And it was so bad that even when it got to be winter, I couldn't wear anything else. I did not try the classic style. I really liked this style. This was the only one that didn't pinch my feet or do anything weird to me. So I can't really wear socks with them because of the toe area. So I would just be going around just with these in the winter, because that's how bad things were. But they saved my feet. They saved my whole body. So I got another pair. I got 2 pairs so I could switch them out and rotate them so that the wear and tear was not as great. And that is something I wanted to point out as a minimalist with shoes. You can take it too far. I think if you're just backpacking, if that's your life, if you're that kind of person who lives out of a backpack, maybe 1 pair of shoes is your way to go. But I prefer to if you buy 2 pairs of shoes, if you wear 2 pairs of shoes versus just 1, then the life on both of your shoe pairs is extended so far. It's just totally worth the money and also the space, in my opinion. So I do have, my first 2 pair of Birkenstocks. One was leather, and I completely destroyed them totally accidentally. I didn't really know much about Birkenstocks. I didn't know how to take care of my shoes, so I thought I was doing a good thing, and I tried cleaning them, and I put something terrible on them. I don't even remember what. The other ones were vegan, similar to this pair I have over here, but you're supposed to clean them with just very gently and softly with water mixed with baking soda, I think. I don't know why this happened. This was years ago, and I just don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I was pregnant, maybe my brain was somewhere else, I don't know. But I accidentally used Barkeeper's Friend instead of baking soda. So I completely destroyed basically 2 pairs of shoes. I still kept them for 2 or 3 years. One of them I still have, and I was going to bring them and show them in a different clip, because I am ready to let go of them. So I'm going to show me trashing a pair of old Birkenstocks. They are so old at this point that the sole has almost completely worn away. It hasn't completely worn away, but it's not supportive anymore. They are not the shoes they were, and having new ones has really showed me how bad they are. So this year, because of a sale on Amazon, I was able to get these. These are a new color. I think it might be Merlot or something like that, but it's basically a red leather, and the same style. I love this style, and I really love these, and I think that they're going to age beautifully. I got new ones because I had just made so many mistakes with the old ones. I just wanted a fresh slate so that I could take care of these, and before I ever wore these ones, I conditioned the soles and the top leather straps, and I sealed the cork. So first thing I did before I ever even wore them was set them up to be protected and weather resistant. And I will continue to take care of them in that way and oil them as I need to. And we actually got the actual the actual materials to take care of Birkenstocks specifically. So I started out strong with these and with these. I think I got these first actually. I got these and then these just about a month later because I do like rotating shoes, like I said, to keep their wear and tear down, because these are mostly all the shoes that I wear ever about 3 seasons out of the year. So I think these are beautiful. I really love the color. It's lighter than the last ones that I had. The last ones I had were, I think they might have been stone. These are kind of this this natural looking white-ish color. It's really pretty. It's a very good neutral, I think, and I really like them. The leather ones are stiffer and not as soft, but they are kind of hardier shoes. They're more rough, and I go on hikes sometimes, and we've been going fishing, and they have a lot of dirt on the bottom because of that. I like having a pair that's a little bit more rough and can take a little bit more wear and tear, and these are kind of like my nicer ones. I can wear these with jeans or whatever it is, and these are, I just wore these to a wedding actually. So yeah, not what most people would do, but I have said before and I'll say it again, I'm not ever again going to compromise my health for someone's wedding just to look a certain way for one day for them. I have done my best to look very nice when I go to people's weddings, and I've worn Birkenstocks I think to 3 weddings now. And I think all 3 of those people still ended up getting married despite the fact that I was not wearing high heels. I do not own high heels. I might even put that in another video sometime, like things I no longer buy. Definitely one of them. I am not gonna wear high heels. I'm not gonna rule out never ever wearing them again, depending on the pair. I've actually thought about getting some Birkenstock high heels before, but that's neither here nor there. I don't own those. But so those are my main everyday shoe. I wear them all the time. And I do want to point out, I am a stay-at-home mom, and we do have hardwoods in our house, and I really believe in going barefoot inside and outside as much as possible. So when the weather permits and when I possibly can, I do go barefoot inside and outside. So even the wear that these get is not as much as a lot of people would put wear on their shoes. And I am very blessed that I don't have certain health issues anymore that makes it to where I have to wear shoes. Some people I know have to wear orthotics all the time. I know that my mom has to wear shoes most of the time, even inside. If you have health issues that make it to where you always have to wear shoes, I think it's probably very, very reasonable to have more than this amount. But this amount works totally great for me. It's very manageable, and I have everything I need. I actually think I have 1 pair of shoes too many, but I'll get into that in a second. So I'm going to put these aside for a second. These are my everyday shoes, and I love them, no regrets. I also don't have any desire to have any other shoes besides these for everyday wear. The only thing that I have wanted that I'm still open to getting if it were to work out is a pair of zero drop wide toe box Mary Janes. I used to wear Mary Janes all the time, and I've kind of just given up on them because they are just really bad for you. And I just found a company who is doing zero drop wide toe box Mary Janes. My mom bought some, so I'm gonna look at hers. It's really exciting because when I got into this about 6 years ago, really there were probably about 2 brands of shoe that did wide toe box and zero drop shoes. And it was Lems and one other company, and I couldn't really find anything else. And now Lems has come out with a ton more styles and colors, and they're so great. I love Lems. I have sold so many people on Lems shoes. I wish I could make a commission because I am such a believer. But a bunch of other companies are jumping on board. I've even had advertisements for kids shoes, because I'm sure a lot of you moms have noticed that babies and toddlers, their shoes are kind of the shape, just a natural, or not a rectangle, like an oval shape, like the shape of a foot when you're a kid. And through time, we get shoes that just squeeze everything together. It's like foot binding. And eventually our shoes become, like shaped like an 8 almost. And that's the way our feet start to become shaped. So I've even gotten an advertisement for a kids brand that is doing wide toe box shoes for older kids. I only buy things for my kids that allow their feet to be the shape that they're supposed to be. I do not want my kids' feet to be formed incorrectly. So I'm really excited about all the new brands that are coming out that are jumping on board, because it's so important to me to have feet that are healthy. It's the foundation of your body. It just makes such a difference in your spinal alignment, in your muscle tone, everything. So just a quick little soapbox. All right, so athletic shoes. This is one pair. I don't wear athletic shoes a lot. I have been working out a ton this year actually, and it's almost exclusively inside workouts where I'm barefoot, and I'm fine with that. I was running for a little bit. It wasn't really my thing. I might try it again someday, but it's just not. I got pregnant afterwards, and it's just not great for me right now. But that was the most wear they got, was when I was running with them, and I did not have pain when I was running. They were great for running. I have had so many people talk about issues with their shoes and their feet when they run. I thought that I was going to have that, and I did not, and I know it's because of the shoes. So these are Ultra, they are Torrens. As you can see, they are shaped like a foot, and they are 0 drop. It even says, I don't know if you can see, but it says 0 drop right there. These are amazing. They do not constrict my feet. I have natural toe splay. My toes aren't like this. My toes spread out. I got these because Alex had been using them for a couple of years and was so sold on them. He loved them, and so when we decided to start running, I knew I had to get one of these, and they're in really good shape. No, I think I've had these for at least 3 years now, and they're a little bit dirty at the bottom where the white is, but they're in excellent shape. I think they're gonna last me a long time. This is a little bit shameful, but my last pair of athletic shoes lasted me for 15 years, I think, and pretty much looked new when I got rid of them. I just don't use athletic shoes very much, and I also, honestly, I just don't put a lot of wear and tear on my shoes. Alex is someone who will go through a sole in about a year. He'll just tear through it, and I don't know why, but I've never really gone through soles very much. I think I have a lot of follow through with my gait, but that's a whole different thing. Okay, next I'm going to talk about these. These are not very attractive. They are Crocs. My mom got these at Goodwill, and I love them. I was ready to get rid of these when I jumped on board the wide toe box train. I was ready to get rid of whatever. These were a pair of old ones. She got these from me years ago, probably at least a decade ago. I think I've had these for probably 15 years as well. But I realized when I looked at them and when I put them on that Crocs are pretty good about toe boxes. And I hadn't really thought about it, and I think that's one of the many, many reasons people believe them to be so ugly, and I get it. But they are a great shape, and so I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. I'll just wear them for a little bit and see if they hurt my feet or my back or anything. And they don't. I could not wear these forever, but I keep them because it is that Croc material down here and all through there, and then it's this almost like a windbreaker material up here, and it's cloth on the inside. It's this really warm kind of fleecy material. So these are pretty unattractive, but they're not actually that offensive visually. They're not like a regular pair of Crocs, and most people don't notice that they are Crocs at all. But so I keep these for if it is super, super rainy and muddy and gross outside. They're so convenient, and I cannot wear rain boots because they don't give any kind of flexion at all. I can't wear them. I've only had one pair of rain boots and I just had to get rid of them because I could not take it anymore. These are kind of like my rain boot, and as far as rain boots go, they're not cute like a lot of trendy rain boots are, but they aren't ugly or offensive to me at all, and also I don't care. They're just brown, it's whatever. They also, during the rare occasions that I need to go in the snow, occasionally a little bit of liquid seeps in because it is just kind of cloth up here, but never enough to bother me, and they work really, really well for snow. So this is a pair that I could technically get rid of, but I feel like I'd be kind of in a bind a little bit during inclement weather. These are a pair I feel like I could technically go without, but I don't feel the need to, and they do serve a purpose even though it's rare. Sometimes your shoes just aren't going to be everyday wears, and that's okay. I still need them sometimes. That is my rain and snow pair of boots. I also have these. Leah gave them to me, I think this was a birthday present. These are really nice shearling boots with a zipper. These are another pair that I was sadly thinking of getting rid of when I jumped on the zero drop wide toe box train, but again, when I examined them, they really were not bad, and again, I tried them on and they just weren't bad at all. They're not technically zero drop. They have a little bit of a heel. When I wear them and put weight on them, it really hasn't ended up affecting anything. And I don't wear them all the time. This is another one of those more rare winter occasions when I need to be super, super warm. And I do get very, very cold. I'm not very good with the cold weather. So this is when I really need to up my warmth factor. These are from Cabela's, and yeah, I really like these. This is another pair that I could get rid of, but I do use them and I do really enjoy them. But I'm getting to my main pair of, these are some of my favorite shoes. These are my Limbs boots. So I'm gonna get a little bit closer for a second so you can see these. All right. First of all, is this not a great boot? I personally love the look of these shoes. I used to have some, I think it was canvas material black ones. I got those when that was all that Limbs had. That was my first pair of Limbs shoes, and I loved them. But I think I've said before that as far as neutrals go, I am typically more of a browns person than a black person as far as accessorizing, like boots, and my purse is brown. It's kind of my neutral color versus black. When they came out with the brown leather, it was like everything I had dreamed of in a shoe. I know that's really dumb to say, but when these shoes came out, I was like, this is the shoe I've always wanted. So I actually sold my old black pair that I'd had for 2, maybe 3 years, and they were in almost new condition, and I sold them for, I think it was only $30 or $40 less than I had bought them for, and I used the money. I obviously had to pay more than just that, but I got these new, and I love them so much. So once again, if you look at the bottom, this is such a beautiful shoe shape. It is shaped just like a foot, and this was once again the very first introduction I had to wide toe box zero drop, and their explanations and their videos that their podiatrist gave and everything, that was really what opened my eyes to all of this. So I have such warmth in my heart for Limbs as a brand. I follow them on Instagram and everything. I just love them so much, and every time they come out with a new color, I get excited even though I never buy them unless I need a pair. But so this is my warm neutral boot. This is perfect for the fall. I've even worn them with shorts a couple of times. They're technically a hiking shoe. So that's really great actually, and that you can hike in them and that they're so versatile. they actually have a waterproof version out now, which was really exciting. They keep coming out with better and better shoes, and but there's nothing wrong with these and I'm fine with them, so I don't feel the need to replace them. But the waterproof ones really did pique my interest. I'm very into those. So I haven't gone hiking in these, but a couple of times last year. It's still so warm where I live that I'm still in my Birkenstocks right now. But these are so great for the fall. And then for socks, I just have 2 pairs of Smart Wool, and that's all I need through the winter. And Smart Wool paired with these, especially with a pair of boot cuffs, if things are super cold. My mom has knitted me some boot cuffs and I love them. That is all I need. And when I wear these with the Smart Wool, sometimes it's super cold and all I need is, sometimes I just need a short sleeve shirt because it's so warm. So again, I live in the South. It does snow where I live a couple of times in the winter, but I definitely am not, I'm not in Colorado, I'm not in Alaska, I'm not in Canada or anything like that. Otherwise, I would definitely need a different option. But for my needs, this is so beyond adequate. I love these shoes so much, and they just suit my needs perfectly. And I just think it's so great how much I love my shoes, because I used to hate shoe shopping more than anything else in the whole world. I had I had kind of a sensory issue with my feet when I was a kid, and when my mom had to take me shopping for shoes, it was just a nightmare for everyone. And I hated it so much that I would keep shoes for 15 years, with barely using them, because I just hated shoe shopping so much. So the fact that I have found the kind of shoe that works for me as a barefoot loving person, and the fact that I have shoes that meet all of my needs and that I don't feel any need to fill any gaps because there are none, is such a good feeling. And so shoes for me have become a little bit of like my goal of what I want my whole life to be, as far as my possessions go and as far as minimalism goes, because I feel so satisfied and peaceful with my shoes, and I enjoy them, and I do like the way they look. Some of them not so much, but I don't care. But I enjoy them so much, and they just meet my needs. And that's the way I want to be with everything in my life, because I'm just satisfied, and they serve their purpose, and they do my body good, and they don't detract from my life, and they aren't a bummer to keep up with or to clean or to anything. I don't just find them randomly around the house. I usually know where they are. I just keep the winter ones up high in my closet, and the other 2 pairs of Birkenstocks, they just stay downstairs on the floor, and I know where they are. It is such a peaceful feeling to have all that I need and no more. So that's kind of my shoe talk. I could talk for so long about shoes and foot health. So if anyone has any questions, please leave a comment and let me know. I would love to discuss this with you or give you resources. I'll try to drop some links down below about the things I've been discussing about wide toe box and zero drop, and just the health issues with feet and how we need to do better with our footwear. But hopefully this piqued some interest in, if you have shoes that are maybe doing you harm versus supporting you and doing you a lot of good. Maybe this piqued your interest, and maybe you would like to read some more about it and look into some of these options. Yeah, this is my shoe collection, and I'm very happy with it. So please leave a comment if you feel like you have too many shoes. Tell us what kind of shoes you have and maybe why you think it's too many. Leave a comment if you feel like your shoe collection is really awesome and just what you need. Do you think you have too many shoes? Do you have shoes that you don't use but also don't enjoy or don't need? Do you have just enough for you? I'd like to know. And how many pairs is it? Because for me, it's pretty easy to count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 pairs of shoes, and I have 1 pair downstairs that's gonna go in the trash, so I'll leave an extra clip of that. But that's it. I have 2 pair of everyday shoes. I have 3 pairs of boots and 1 pair of athletic shoes. And yeah, it's great for me. It works really, really well. So thank you so much for watching. This has been the Simplicity Sisters. If you have any suggestions for any more videos of content that you would like us to do for you, anything you'd like to see, if you have any more minimalism videos that you have interest in me doing, projects for our house, drawers, rooms, closets, whatever it is, please let me know down below and I will try to get to it as soon as possible. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We love to interact with you guys. Have a great day. It's so sad. They're so old and gross. I really loved these and I loved the color, but you know, all good things come to an end. You can see here, they're actually very thin. They're a little too bendable. They're covered in dirt, and this is one of my main issues here. I have tried to glue this so many times, and it's become so stiff through the years, and they aren't even comfortable anymore because they're so gross. You can't read what size they are anymore. You can't read the Birkenstock label anymore. It's sad, but it's time to go.